Welcome to this episode of BeamNG Roadkill, where we mix it up for our big 10-episode shootout, where we take a bunch of cop cars and we find out which one is the ultimate unit. Without crashing into them, of course. Jesus Christ. Okay, so usually every 60 episodes, we do a shootout with a bunch of the project cars that we have built over the previous season, or I do something special like episode 50 where we had a bunch of the original cars at the track where it all began. But this time, we are doing it differently. Yeah, we're not actually shooting out project cars that you've seen before. Well, you may see those two over there. But yes, right here in front of me, I have a lineup of cop cars. And you may be wondering why I have a bunch of cop cars. I can't tell you that. But yeah, we have a range of cop cars, most of them being from the 80s, like 60s to 80s time period. And then two of them being modern day cars. And we're going to see which, how durable these cars are, but also test the fact that, so many good movies that came from the 60s to almost up to the 2000s had awesome cop chases and cop cars. They were doing all types of stunts, and, well, I figured, why not see what these cars can do and see if they can live up to the standards of movie history, pretty much. And yeah, we're going to do a bunch of tests with these cars. We're going to do Rockfords with them. We're going to off-road them, of course. You got to off-road your police cars to know how good they are. We're going to do handling tests with them, of course. And yeah. And you know what? We'll do a burnout test at some point as well. And the vehicles that they're going to go up against are those over there. Over there is the two vehicles that you have seen this season, and that is the Bluesmobile and the Roadkill cop car, which has been seeing a lot of abuse lately. The car is holding up. Only had to replace the front suspension again. But yeah, so just to go through the cars here, we have a Moonhawk, an Undercover Edition. We have a Cornet, 1969 Cornet. We got a Blue Buck, of course, and I think this one might be one of the units of today, because, yeah, I've driven this one around a lot, and holy fuck, this is a fun car. When I'm done with these cars, you're probably never going to see them again once I use them for what they're going to be used for, but, yeah, this might be one of the cars that gets scrapped and I put the engine and trans and everything into something else, because fucking hell, this car is solid for how old it is. And then, of course, right here, your Chevy Impala. Some of the greatest cop cars in history. And then maybe not one of the greatest cop cars in history, but this ain't a V6, this is a Hemi, and it sounds awesome. And this car you're going to see on a future episode, because I have a cool plan for this thing. And then, of course, you can't go wrong with the Crown Vic, equivalent, which is a Grand Marshal. So, I guess we'll just get right to it and get to a Rockford test, but we'll do the baseline in the cop car. We'll have the Bluesmobile go, which I think the Bluesmobile may be more superior. But also, the cop car can be an example of what a Rockford is. Hopefully I can still do it, because I haven't done one with the new suspension. And we're going to get far down here, so that maybe we can do two of them. So basically, what a Rockford is basically pulling a quick turn, a K-turn, kind of. Let me just show you. Okay. Unit. I'll give that. That's basically the baseline right there. That was sick. But that is 100 horsepower. This is a little 454 in it. So this will probably be more of a realistic baseline. All right. Not bad, a little shaky, but I think that was on my part. So that's a good baseline, and I'll give that like... Give that like an 8 out of 10. That could have been better, but that's a good baseline. So if anything, I'll give it 7 out of 10. I feel like that's more realistic. I was a half-decent Rockford. Cop Car was a 10 out of 10. This is a 7 out of 10. All right, what do we go to first? Oh, the unit. So this is an Interceptor unit. So it's got an old big block in it. But one of its downfalls, which I think is going to be unfortunate, is it's got an open diff in it right now. I haven't begun to modify these for what I need them for yet, but... Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright, well, it didn't really do a good Rockford, but I will tell you this. This thing deserves another go. Ooh, the brakes aren't that good in this thing. Better. I'd say that that's on par with the Bluesmobile because it was a little shaky. Yeah, you know what? I'll tie it with the Bluesmobile. That was actually pretty decent. I'll give that a 7 out of 10. Not bad. Not bad. For an absolute unit. Oh, the Impala. Yes. So this thing, I don't know what it has in it. I don't really know the information on some of these cars because they're really just kind of blindly, they've been blindly gotten at this point, so. Can't do a burnout in reverse, but. Oh boy. And shaky. Shaky. That was a 5 out of 10, I'll give it. Decent Rockford, but it doesn't have the power to really whip around. I think next up is... Ooh, turn that off. The Charger. This is a 426 Hemi in it. And this thing actually sounds good. I'll give you a few revs. Yeah, this thing's actually kind of badass. I won't lie. So of course, all the traction nannies are going to be off, given that this is a brand new car. Well, not brand new, but you know what I mean. That was a solid Rockford. That was a solid Rockford right there. I will give that an 8 out of 10. Good fucking job. Alright, okay. This thing is a 318, which in my opinion is a very underrated motor. But this is the heaviest car here, I'm pretty sure. So... it had potential. Kind of slid it around too quick, maybe. I'll give it one more shot. Okay. Not a lot of, oh boy, oh, it's a 318. But, 4 out of 10. Sorry, Cornet. I wish you were in first, but for the goofy cop car that it would be, 4 out of 10. The Moonhawk. Moonhawks are solid cars, so... And I think this is one of the cars that has a limited slip in it. Yes, it does. Not as much tire smoke, but I'll give that a 5 out of 10. Ooh, it's definitely going to have some good action. I'll tell you that. Yeah, it will definitely have some good action around. And I think the final vehicle is yes. The Grand Marshal, which I think we already know. Quick Rockford. Alright, it had some spice to it. I think I'm going to tie it with the Bluesmobile. It's an 8 out of 10. I love these cars. Alright, next up is going to be the handling test, which is really going to accomplish nothing, but for the older cars, it's going to show how goofy the suspension can be. So, as a car that is going to run through this, and I'm probably not going to run the cop car, probably not going to run the Grand Marshal, I'm probably not going to run the Charger, because they're all modern cars, they're going to handle well. This is really more made for the old cars, but the Bluesmobile can be the perfect baseline for this. Because, well, it's an old cop car, and the Bluesmobile is known for doing some pretty crazy shit. Passes the burnout test, though. Oh, but this thing doesn't really handle well. And also, I forgot, this thing has stiffer suspension than the other cars. But we're basically just going to use the... We're going to use the automation handling course. And really show that the Bluesmobile is, well, the knockoff Bluesmobile is the pinnacle of handling. Well, there we go, there is some good action. Ooh, a little bit of a jump there. Cool. This thing's actually kind of fun. Okay, well that wasn't my best driving, but that right there is basically, you know, some good old cop car action. Sliding it around the corners, you know, bouncy suspension when it goes over bumps. That's the type of cop action that they had back in those movies. See just how the car, like, is unsettled when you first park it. Or when you slide it. That's what we're looking for. And I think the Blue Buck here can accomplish that very well. Oh, it does burnouts for distance. Oh, it shifted. This thing might actually be a unit. For a one-wheel peel, it's ripping. But it's got that bouncy cop car behavior. Yeah, tires squealing. Yeah, and you can see, like, you know, the suspension is being maxed out. The tires are constantly squealing. All right, don't blow it up. Oh, this thing is a ripper. It drifts pretty good. This thing is a ripper. This gets a seal of approval right here. Now, before I overheat it and blow it up, let me go easy on it and put it back, and we'll get into the next vehicle. Alright, we already know that this thing ain't gonna pass the burnout test, so let's just go for it. Ooh. Now, this should have some good cop action, this car. And it should be able to perform pretty well because, ooh, picking up the front tire. This is a highway patrol car. I gotta say, this thing actually grips really good. Oh, bottomed out. It's got that classic cop car bounce in it, too. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this thing's a ripper. Ripper. It performs as a highway patrol car. It's got that classic cop car bounce. Yeah, I can give that a good score. Points to this thing. Points to this thing. But I don't know. It's not living up to the Blue Buck so far. I'm pretty sure. I think the Blue Buck is my favorite so far. That's winning. But I think car getting the best score. I think the car getting the best score was like the Charger. But we're not running that. We are next running. I think yeah, we'll do the Moonhawk. The Cornet, I'm pretty sure I know how that thing's gonna handle. It's way too heavy, and it's gonna be like bowling balls. Now this thing has a shitty 3-speed in it. I might upgrade it to a 4-speed so then we get kind of more acceleration out of the motor. Now it's not going to pass the burnout test, I'm pretty sure, but we're going to neutral drop it just to try. Okay. Now the Moonhawk is a really stable car. Oh, it pushes a lot. Wall tap. It's definitely got some good action, but it doesn't roll as good. I mean, I'll give it credit, it can do a good smoke show, but it doesn't have that horsepower or torque to really make this a favorite of mine. It's a stable car. Yeah, it's just pushing through the front tires. Let's see how it stops. It stops. Yeah, not the best action. It slides, but too stable. But then again, this is an undercover car. This is supposed to be kind of a good handling car. But I think we should move on to the off-roading, because cop cars are supposed to be built to go over curbs. They're supposed to be able to take heavy bumps. They're supposed to be durable. And taking them on a rally course track, I feel like, is very appropriate. And no other car that can perform good on dirt than to present that is the cop car. Alright, so this is how we're going to treat this. Sitting on the side of the road, car comes speeding by. Supposed to get your lights on, turn your car on. Oh boy, that's a berm. That's a berm as well. Yeah, some pretty big bumps. But yeah, that's how we're going to treat that. Is going to be sitting there like the car is running radar. And yeah. Thing is a unit. I love this car so much. But I think we need to prove that the Charger is one of the ultimate cop cars here. It's got good acceleration, I'll give it that. Alright, put her in park, turn her off. I wonder, what kind of modes do we got here? Eco, track, valet, street. Yeah, I think we'll leave all that off. Alright, car comes by, lights, drive. Oh boy. That rev limiter is cool. I even managed to put the fucking emergency lights on. This thing held up better than the Hellcat, though. Yeah, this thing held up a lot better than the Hellcat. Let's see. I'll turn that off. Let's get some action out of this. Thing is a unit. I love how it sounds too. It almost makes me want to leave this thing the way it is, but this car will go out in style when we work on it. Next up, though, we'll do the Cornet, since we haven't run that in a minute. Now, the Cornet, I have more faith in doing this because, well, it's a Cornet. Long wheelbase. It's an old car. And it's heavy. So I feel like it's going to grip up better, and it's going to do a lot better. But so far, Charger's winning for style points right there. All right. Car comes by, turn on, put it in drive, lights on. Oh, this 318 is pathetic. Oh. Yeah, this 318's kind of wimpy. But I'll tell you this thing takes bumps really good. Ooh, losing control! I didn't want to crash it. Well, that's unfortunate. But it'll be fixed. Yeah, it'll be fixed. Yeah, I was kind of afraid of doing that on this, but okay. What's next? The Moonhawk. I hope I don't overheat it. Now, if I know correctly, the Moonhawk is one of the best off-road muscle cars in this game. So, it should be good at this. Lights on, engine on, drive, lights. Alright, here we go. Oh, come on. Get up on the RPMs. There we go. needs more power. Come on, there we go. Takes bumps really well, though. That was a good drift, okay. Doing a wheelie over the finish line. Yeah, no. Pathetic. Pathetic. Alright, let's see what's next. Alright, let's see if this can be the chariot of the action today. Lights on, car on, drive, siren. Fast start. Come on, get up on the converter. Come on, get up on the converter. Oh, come on, get up on the converter again. Come on. Oh. Something screwed up in the alignment. Oh, good drift. And good fly across the finish line. These things are taking a harder beating than I expected. Get up it. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was a hard hit on the suspension. All right, what are we down to? The Impala and the Grand Marshal. Now, I think this one has broken lights, from what I remember. So they don't look the nicest. Oh, this thing is the perfect, like, old cop car action. All right. Lights on, car on, put it in drive, light. There we go. No, not that good. Oh, it's chugging. Yeah, not that good of action. The Blue Buck is definitely holding up to its reputation. Take bumps well, though. Oh, it can do bumps really well. Yeah, the light bar does glitch out a little, but I think that's going to be replaced with a different one. Subpar. Not impressed with it. Well, fuck, come on. There we go. Let's get the final car over with. And then, yeah. This thing doesn't have lights. So this one's just gonna kind of go rogue. I'll turn the car on, put it in fucking drive, and let's go. Oh. Hell yeah. This thing's a... Oh boy. This thing's actually really good. Ooh, stylish finish. I'll give it that. Stylish. Park it. Alright, so out of all these cars, I think I have to give the win to the Blue Buck here for the oldest ultimate cop car. It's got the perfect ride of an old cop car. It's got the siren. It's got the look of it, the beefy suspension that can take the bumps, and it can take a beating. Motor's not dead. Nothing about the car is dead. So the Blue Buck, I think, gets the win on the oldest car, but for the ultimate newest car, it has to be the Charger. Given that the Charger is the replacement for the Crown Vics for police cars, this thing genuinely has surprised me, especially where it's come from in last episode where we had the Hellcat. This mod has started to really surprise me with how well the car can take a beating at times. Of course, it can't take big bumps. What we did to the Hellcat was really fucking aggressive, but with this thing, I think it held up a lot better than it should have. And it's a cop car. It should be able to hold up. But if there was anything that I had to pick, it would have to be the Grand Marshal. Because all around, I think it's one of the better cop cars in the game, and this thing lives up to it. I have put this car through the ringer for 2 years now. It started off with nitrous, the motor blew up with the supercharger, and this thing has been making a reliable 1100 horsepower its whole life. It hasn't, this car hasn't failed me yet, and I don't think it ever will. So, out of all these cars, the unit award has to go to this one, because this thing's a unit, but all of them held up surprisingly well, minus the Cornet. The Cornet and the Moonhawk were really the Cornet, the Moonhawk, and the Impala were really the underdogs here. But yeah, but if you're interested to see what the rest of these cop cars are going to be used in, stay tuned. I can't give you details now, but stay tuned. Hopefully you have enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.